Topic: The real secret to speaking English fluently that nobody talks about. Intro. What if I told you that fluency has very little to do with talent? What if I told you that the people who speak English confidently aren't always the smartest people in the room? And what if the biggest thing stopping you isn't your grammar, or your vocabulary, or even your pronunciation? The truth is, most English learners spend years searching for the perfect book, the perfect course, or the perfect teacher, but they ignore the one thing that truly creates fluency. Today, we're going to uncover that secret. Not a shortcut, not a magic trick, but a simple principle that changes the way you learn English forever. If you understand this lesson, your entire approach to learning English will change. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Fluency is built, not found. Many people think fluency is something you suddenly achieve. One day you wake up, and somehow, you're fluent. But that's not how language works. Fluency isn't a destination. It's the result of hundreds of small actions repeated over time. Think about learning to ride a bicycle. The first ride feels impossible. You lose balance. You make mistakes. You fall. But after enough practice, you stop thinking about balance. Your body simply knows what to do. Speaking English works the same way. At first, every sentence feels difficult. Later, your brain begins to recognize patterns automatically. That is how fluency is built. Chapter 2. Stop chasing perfect English. Many learners delay speaking because they want to sound perfect. They wait until their grammar improves. They wait until they learn more vocabulary. They wait until they feel confident. Unfortunately, that day never comes. Confidence is not the beginning of the journey. It is the reward for taking the journey. Every conversation makes you a little more confident. Every mistake teaches you something valuable. The people who improve the fastest are usually the people who are willing to sound imperfect, because they understand one simple truth. Progress is more valuable than perfection. Chapter 3. Your brain learns through repetition, not pressure. Have you ever tried to force yourself to remember something? Maybe a difficult word, or a grammar rule. The harder you tried, the harder it became. Our brains don't learn well under pressure. They learn through repetition. When you hear a phrase many times, use it in different situations, and speak it naturally. It becomes part of your long-term memory. That's why learning one useful phrase deeply is better than memorizing 50 phrases once. Your brain loves familiarity. Give it repeated experiences, not endless information. Chapter 4. Build an English lifestyle. Most learners study English for 30 minutes. Then they spend the rest of the day surrounded by their native language. Imagine watering a plant for 1 minute, then leaving it in complete darkness. Will it grow? Probably not. English should become part of your lifestyle. Read English headlines while drinking tea. Listen to English podcasts while walking. Watch educational videos while eating lunch. Think in English while driving. Write your shopping list in English. These small changes create continuous exposure, and continuous exposure creates familiarity. Chapter 5. Learn to notice, not just study. Here's something many learners never do. They notice. When listening to English, don't only focus on understanding. Notice how people greet each other. Notice how they ask questions. Notice how they disagree politely. Notice how they express surprise. Language is much more than vocabulary. It's rhythm, emotion, timing, and expression. The more you observe, the more naturally you begin to communicate. Chapter 6. Build confidence before complexity. Many students try to speak advanced English immediately, but strong communication begins with simple language. Imagine two speakers. The first uses difficult vocabulary, but speaks slowly and hesitates. The second uses simple words, but speaks clearly and confidently. Who sounds more fluent? Usually the second person. Simple English spoken naturally is always more powerful than complicated English spoken with fear. Master simple communication first. Complexity can come later. Chapter 7. Make English personal. Your brain remembers information that matters to you. So, don't learn random examples. Create sentences about your own life. Talk about your family, your dreams, your hobbies, your work, your favorite food, your weekend plans. When English becomes connected to your real experiences, it becomes much easier to remember. Language becomes meaningful, and meaningful learning lasts longer. Chapter 8. Learn from your own mistakes. Most people hate making mistakes. Successful learners study them. After every conversation, ask yourself 3 questions. What did I say well? Where did I hesitate? What can I say better next time? This simple reflection turns every conversation into a lesson. The goal isn't to avoid mistakes. The goal is to avoid repeating the same mistake forever. Chapter 9. Stop comparing your journey. One learner becomes fluent in 2 years. Another takes 5. Someone else learns quickly because they practice every day. Someone else progresses slowly because they have little free time. Every journey is different. The only comparison that matters is this. Are you better today than you were last month? If the answer is yes, you're moving in the right direction. Success isn't measured by speed. It's measured by consistency. Chapter 10. The Daily Promise. Before we finish, I'd like to leave you with a simple promise. Promise yourself that every day you will spend at least 20 minutes with English. Not because someone told you to, not because of an exam, but because you're investing in your future. Some days you'll feel motivated. Some days you won't. Practice anyway. Motivation starts the journey. Discipline finishes it. Final thoughts. There is no secret shortcut to fluency. No magical app. No perfect course. No overnight transformation. The real secret is simple. Show up every day. Speak even when you're nervous. Listen with curiosity. Read with purpose. Write with honesty. Learn with patience. And never stop improving. One sentence becomes one conversation. One conversation becomes confidence. And confidence becomes fluency. Years from now, you won't remember every lesson you studied. Topic: Why smart people still struggle to speak English. Intro. Have you ever met someone who is highly educated, someone who has excellent grades, someone who understands complex subjects, yet when it comes to speaking English, they suddenly become quiet? Why does this happen? If intelligence helps us solve difficult problems, why doesn't it automatically help us speak English fluently? The answer might surprise you. Because speaking a language is not a test of intelligence. It's a test of habit. It's a test of confidence. And it's a test of consistent practice. Today, we're going to explore why many intelligent people struggle with spoken English and what they can do to finally break free from this problem. Let's begin. Section 1. Knowledge is not the same as skill. Many people confuse knowledge with skill. Knowing English grammar is knowledge. Speaking English naturally is a skill. Think about driving a car. You can read every driving manual ever written. You can memorize every traffic rule. But until you sit behind the steering wheel, you still can't drive. English works the same way. Reading creates knowledge. Speaking creates skill. If your goal is fluency, you must spend less time collecting information and more time using it. Section 2. Your brain is protecting you. Have you noticed that your mind suddenly becomes blank when someone asks you to speak English? This isn't because you've forgotten everything. It's because your brain is trying to protect you. Whenever we fear embarrassment, our brain becomes cautious. It slows us down. It makes us overthink every sentence. The solution isn't learning more grammar. The solution is reducing fear through practice. The more often you speak, the safer your brain feels. Eventually, speaking English becomes normal. Section 3. Overthinking destroys fluency. One sentence. That's all you want to say. But your brain asks, Is the grammar correct? Is the pronunciation correct? Should I use has or have? Is there a better word? By the time you've answered all those questions, the conversation is over. Fluent speakers don't think about every rule. They trust the habits they've built. You build those habits through repetition, not perfection. Section 4. Speak before you're ready. This advice sounds strange, but it's true. If you wait until you're completely ready, you'll never start. Nobody feels ready. Even confident speakers still make mistakes. The difference is, they speak anyway. Growth begins the moment you become willing to be uncomfortable. Section 5. Fluency comes from familiarity. Think about your favorite song. You probably know the lyrics, not because you memorized them, but because you've heard the song many times. English works exactly the same way. The more often you hear useful phrases, the more familiar they become. And familiar language is easier to speak. Don't chase difficult vocabulary. Repeat useful English until it feels natural. Section 6. Stop studying like a student. Many learners always ask, what chapter should I study next? Instead, ask yourself, what conversation do I want to have? Real life isn't divided into grammar chapters. It's divided into situations, ordering food, attending interviews, talking with friends, giving presentations. Learn English for situations, not just for exams. Section 7. Small wins build big confidence. Every time you successfully answer a question in English, celebrate it. Every time you learn a useful expression, celebrate it. Every time you understand a movie without subtitles, celebrate it. Confidence doesn't arrive all at once. It grows through small victories. Don't ignore your progress just because you haven't reached your final goal. Section 8. The person you become. Learning English isn't only about language. It's about becoming a better communicator, a better listener, a more confident person, someone who isn't afraid to express ideas. That's the real reward. English simply becomes the tool that helps you connect with the world. Final message. If you're intelligent, but still struggle to speak English, don't doubt yourself. You don't need more intelligence. You need more conversations, more listening, more speaking, more patience. Remember, fluency isn't earned by the smartest learner. It's earned by the learner who keeps showing up. One conversation at a time, one mistake at a time, one day at a time, and one day, you'll look back and realize the English that once felt impossible has become completely natural. Thank you for watching. If this lesson helped you, subscribe to the English PK for more practical English lessons that help you speak with confidence. Keep learning, keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next lesson.